Hello, this is Jcamera here, and today we're going to be looking at another Crash Bandicoot Resaurus action figure from the 1990s. So this figure I actually got secondhand, like used condition, because I only have a handful of these action figures left, and it's impossible to get any of them in brand new condition, good price. So instead, I decided to get them used, but make sure that they included all the accessories and were in acceptable enough condition that I could at least fix them up without having to pay too much to do so. However, I did save up the packaging from previous Series 1 action figures, so I can use it for these reviews, so it's still in the same tradition. So just like the Kimono Mo action figure, he would have the larger bubble to store him in, and he had like the text showing his name, tiny, and all that. But then, if we just move the character and accessories aside, you get like Cortex's castle in the background with a rocket firing at Crash, getting him out of the castle. You get like leafy patterns here, like the jungles, whatever. You get the big Crash Bandicoot logo and the moon, and a starry night sky with purple in it. The Resaurus logo, and you get the not for children under 3 years age thing, warning. Speaking of ages, we get ages 5 and up here. And we get the fact that this is Series 1 labeled here, and we get like the hanger in the stores when you go out to select one of them. On the back is where it's more interesting. Obviously, seen it, been there, done that. We get the barcode. This is from my Jetpack Crash Bandicoot figure, because that's the one I saved. I threw out the rest of the packaging for Series 1. I have one for Series 2, but I'll save that for Series 2 action figures. And then we get like a review here. Great toys, serious fun. And then we get the description of the series. From the shady shores of Insanity Beach to the horrific halls of the Cortex Vortex, the kooky characters of the popular video game come to life. Help the manic marsupial Crash Bandicoot and his brainy sister Coco in their quest to prevent the insidious Dr. Neocortex and his merciless minions from taking over the world. Glide over murky waters with a jetboard. Hack into the Cortex main computer with a laptop, or soar through the stars on a jetpack. But beware, slashing swords, leaping behemoths, and mad scientists await! And there's a description. And of course, you get like the green and purple color scheme, which looks really cool. We get the Jetboard Crash Bandicoot, Jetpack Crash Bandicoot, Coco Bandicoot, Dr. Neocortex, and Kimono Mo. Tiny's the one we're looking at today, and here's my final action figure from this lineup. I've taken reviews on all of them if you want to check out those videos. And here is Tiny's description. What he lacks in smarts, he makes up for in strength. Tiny's bulked-up frame was designed by the evil Cortex to mash marsupials into mush. The Titanic Tiny includes spiked shoulder pads, metal crate with stickers, wumpa fruit, and a violet crystal. Of course, those accessories we'll take a closer look at in a minute. And that's all for the packaging. So let's take a look at the accessories first. First up, we get the classic wumpa fruit, bouncy, made of rubber, which every single Series 1 Crash Bandicoot figure included. For some reason, they didn't continue with these in the Series 2 line, and they didn't even plan to bring them back. The most I could think of is that it would be too repetitive, but I feel like that would be the point. And I think you could easily squeeze an item this small into each figure. So that's a bit weird, but I guess I should be thankful that we got any at all, but oh well, here it is, accurate to the game, looks good. We get a green metal crate. Mine was covered with stickers, so I had to remove the stickers. This is like the Nitro Destroyers, like in the Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3 and games afterwards. When you see the exclamation point on them and then you smash it as Crash Bandicoot to destroy all the Nitros. That's what this specific type is for. Because I'm out of stickers, I'm going to use this as just a blank green crate. Like when you destroy all the Nitros and the exclamation point leaves the crate. Or I'll use it just as a plain metal crate and just accept the fact that it's green. Because the only stickers that I got enough to make a crate out of is TNT, and they're supposed to be red, which is the polar opposite of green. You do the math, and if you have good taste like me, you would not do that, unless you're desperate to get rid of stickers. And just like all the other crates in this lineup, it does separate. These green crates are only included with the villains of Series 1, so Tiny Tiger, Dr. Neo Cortex, and Kimono Mo included. Other characters do include crates, but they're not the green crates, and only Series 1 heroes have crates in addition to those 3 villains, like Jetboard Crash Bandicoot, Jetpack Crash Bandicoot, and Coco Bandicoot. Series 2 had one action figure that did this, that being the high-flying Crash Bandicoot. I like that you get to do this because you can, if you want to store a piece of wumpa fruit or even several pieces in there, and like it's to symbolize the checkpoint crate, so if for whatever reason you want to put on the stickers around each side of the crate, you can go ahead and do that. On top of that, my version, my copy, mine is fading with some of the paint on it, but these crates typically have like a little bit of silver, metal, chrome all over it to give it more of a metallic feel and to make it so it's not really Nitro Destroyers, although with the green, that's how it comes across for me, but less so that, more so general metal crates. My version doesn't have quite as much on the bolts as some of the others, but it's still very much present and visible, especially on camera. And the final accessory for Tiny is the crystal. This is the only action figure that comes with the correct colored crystal, that being this pinkish purple color. The other action figures come with crystals that are a completely different color. In the games, they're just like this one color. But I guess for variety's sake, they wanted to switch it up. I feel like if you did the wumpa fruits repetitively, you may as well have done the crystals. Of course, each figure in Series 1 had a crystal. Series 2 had gems, which, fair enough, replacing that. And I would prefer gems over that many crystals, so I'm fine with it. My copy, because I got this used, I had to sort of cover up the dents, which were everywhere on the line marks, and also like on the bottom and top. I think I did an okay enough job doing it, especially on camera, but I might want to redo it at some point. And then we have the main person himself, or mutant animal thing, Tiny Tiger, who is the largest action figure of the entire wave. Like, just for perspective, here's Crash Bandicoot. You can see that Tiny towers over the main character, which is saying something. I think Tiny's like 18.5 centimeters or something, while Crash is like, I can't remember exactly if he was like 11.5 or 12 centimeters, but he's like 2/3 of Tiny's height. Hell, not even now, more like half the size. You can also see the contrast in colors Crash has like a dark orange color, while Tiny has a bright orange color. That's probably why Crash looks so dark, so it could contrast better with Tiny, and Tiny looks relatively bright in the game in comparison, so I get the choice. In fact, these two have a lot to compare in terms of shoes. The Jetpack Crash has the brighter red shoes, but this Crash has the black shoes. Meanwhile, Tiny has a really dark red, like burgundy shoes, and like this thing on the front, and shoelaces up on top. And it also makes sense with his width, because he's meant to be a really strong, muscle-bound, meathead kind of dude. Like, you can see he has these really big arms, big pecs, and head, but then really tiny, scrawny legs. But remarkably, this figure does stand up pretty well, at least as long as you position the arms correctly and use the tail to help pose him around. And of course, he does come with these spiked shoulder pads. The design is based on the Crash Bandicoot 2 appearance of a character, which makes sense because this line of figures was designed around that game specifically, and it was coming out when Crash Bandicoot 3 would come out about a month or two or around that time, so it makes sense. Some versions of Tiny include a grey muzzle with like these lower abs being a grey color and like the head having some grey on it, but even though it contrasts much better with the figure, I went with the yellow one because it's more game accurate, and it still stands out if you have the light on. It doesn't stand out as well in person, but on camera, it pops. And you got this sort of cloth piece for Tiny, which looks really cool and feels nice. He's one of the very few characters to use a piece like this. Komodo Mo had a piece like this, and I think the High Flying Crash had a scarf piece, but otherwise it's all rubber or plastic making these figures, which is impressive. I should also mention that the paint on mine isn't perfect because, again, it's used condition. I've kind of fixed up the nose, but I'm going to touch up on that later. Like, anything black on this figure, like the claws and even the tail, which you can't really see there, and the eyebrows, I think I did an okay job, but I am going to try and do better when I get all the figures. And then as for the articulation, his head is on a ball joint. Mine is a bit rough with the play features, but it's still there. I might put him in warm water or something, and then you can move his jaw up and down like he's eating something, or he's even just talking or roaring. It is hard to showcase some of the maneuverabilities, but if I just place him on down, his arms rotate 360 just like so. And of course, the same goes this side. His arms are on a ball joint, so you can move them up and down. And you can have him, like, move and stuff. This arm is pretty loose, so I am a little concerned, but I'm sure it could be fixed. And of course, same goes with this side, because the shoulder pads he has helps cover it up. And then you can rotate his whole, lower body and the legs, which you can't really see, but yes, it can be done. And if you look at the bottom of his feet, he has a peg hole, and of course his tail moves as well. He has 10 points of articulation with this tail, these legs, the swiveling waist, the arms, the and then the head having 2 points. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's 10. I just wanted to make sure. to make sure I wasn't missing anything about this figure. So here's Tiny in the most imposing and terrifying form. Mouth up, arms up, and standing in a position about to bite your head off or about to chase you, which is pretty cool. He is a toy company's dream come true of a figure. Big, scary dude that's about to eat you, and I think this was the figure that sold the best, because most collections you'll see will minimum have Tiny and like one of the crashes, most likely the jetboard crash. And just for some last minute stuff, I like the detail on the ears and the eyes. The white the white bits make it look more alive and emotional, which is good. Not like in a sad kind of way, but more expressive and alive. And you get the spiked wrists, which I forgot to mention. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this figure. So I've got 4 action figures left. Oh yeah, by the way, I got the shadow from this figure in the background. That's how imposing he is. So for future figure reviews for Crash Bandicoot, I have 4 left, all 4 from Series 2. I have the Engine action figure, the Dingodile action figure, the Entropy action figure, and the Moto Crash and Coco Duo pack. The last one, let's face it, is never going to happen. It's too expensive, too rare, probably not getting it. So it's going to be one of the... So pretty much the remainder of these Crash Bandicoot videos are going to be the 3 villains from Series 2. I can't make any promises because I haven't ordered any by the time of making this video, and I'm probably not going to get any of the 3 for a little while because of how expensive they are. Because, again, I'm trying to finish up on the LEGO Harry Potter collection. Again, I will try to get maybe 1 more action figure at least this year. Maybe I'll try to get all of them this year. Who knows? If I had to guess which one, Engine is going to be the next one. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all later.